it. So it's an organization which has got 35,000 clubs across the world. And
Wow.
anywhere in the world you go, you find a Rotarian, you'll be greeted like a friend.
Mm-hmm.
The whole concept of giving, the gratitude comes from there. So our flagship store is at mall in Calcutta. That's the first interior mall of Eastern India.
So great morning, audience. It's a pleasure for me to be talking to somebody who I wanted to come as the guest in this heart-to-heart conversation, rather this yet another episode of heart-to-heart conversation series. For last many weeks and many months, we had been trying to have Mr. Manish Biyani in this show, and I think it's going to be, it's not exactly a show, it's a heart-to-heart conversation as I have been telling, and I think something which is going to be super inspiring and full of fun as well. So, Manish, first of all, let me thank you from the heart. Let me thank you, and let me thank all the guests who have volunteered to come for this series of conversation. Because I always have been telling people that it's not about the messages which we share. It's not about the inspiring and maybe not maybe a heartwarming conversation which we and lessons and some of these things which we share with people. It's primarily to let people have this subtle reminder that it's important for all of us to be engaging in some of these heart to heart conversations at a deeper level. It's not only about two people talking, it's not only about me talking to some of the corporate leaders and some of the most accomplished business people, businessmen. It's also about a husband having this heart to heart conversation with the wife who might be having some aspiration. It's important for a student to have a heart to heart conversation, a deeper conversation with another student, because maybe the other student is looking for some guidance. Maybe other student is heartbroken because of some examination, some result, which might be a small thing in the overall scheme of life. Once we reflect back, of course, for people like you and me, when we reflect back, we know that those were small things which actually people used to sweat a lot about, right? It's important for a neighboring person to have a heart-to-heart conversation with another neighboring person. The idea is to see that in a world which is all about spending too much time on screens, cell phone screens, TV screens, OTT screens, and this and that. I think it's the idea is to have some deeper conversations where we just keep all the phones aside. We can just pick up our favorite cup of mug of coffee or tea and just have engage in some conversation which actually may change lives, may save some lives, may also create transformation. So this is a subtle message, and even before we could start this heart-to-heart conversation, I think already the series of messages have started flowing. I'm saying this with humility, and thank you so much, Manish, for volunteering to come for this. I know it's not easy because 6 days of work and maybe 7 days of work for people like you, and then still volunteering to spend some time on Sunday is really amazing. Manish, let me share with you before we talk to you, before we listen to you. There is something very interesting which I wanted to share with you. So this picture which you can see in the background, this is yesterday's picture. So one of my friends who is a best-selling author, her books have been published by Jacko Books and Think and Win Like Dhoni. And she is a speaker and coach and trainer, and she has been in this domain. And she wanted me to come and talk to the audience for 15, 20 minutes before she could take over. It was a 2 hour session for her.
Mhm.
And when I spoke with the audience, and after that, she came and she spoke. And while she was speaking, of course, I joined for 10 minutes and then I left while she was speaking. I heard her talking about something which is very interesting. She was saying that, in India, people normally are interested in three things. One is, she said, cricket. Second is Bollywood. And third is, she was saying politics. And of course, I could add from my side, you can also add astrology, luck and this and that. So astrology, A for astrology, B for Bollywood, C for cricket, and then you add P politics. Politics, I think when she said politics, what she meant was that people are interested in knowing more about Virat Kohli than they're interested in knowing about what is exactly there within them. What is that they want to achieve? What she wanted to say is that people are also even more interested in what Anushka Sharma is commenting about Virat's latest performance. So that's the way the world is. Of course, we may or may not agree to this because, of course, we have seen that the live telecast, live streaming on YouTube of Chandrayaan-3's soft and successful landing has become number one. I think most viewed. It has got the maximum PCVs, I think, peak concurrent views across the world. It also has beaten some of the earlier live telecasts or live telecasts of matches of Brazil and some of these countries, right? So that is true, but I think the message is very clear that if you look at television channel, they are all talking about some of the things which are all full of masala, some entertainment, some fun, some sensational news. And I thought of changing the course of this interaction because I'm going to add some masala as well. I'm got inspired from Spurti sir, my friend who invited me yesterday. So Manish, we are going to have a question thrown across you, and this is absolutely shockingly surprising because we have not spoken about the kind of questions which are going to discuss. Certainly, this question is going to be totally coming out of blue. Manish, the nation wants to know the answer to one question. And the question is, I recall once I had learned about this book called Six Thinking Hats. Of course, I've not read the book. I'm not saying that one has to go and jump for the book. Of course, if you're ready, if you want to read, absolutely perfect. I always tell people that before you, people care more about the hats and they care less about their head. What exactly, is their purpose and what is that they want to do? What is that, passion and all those things which people have talked about. And hardly people get it. Great. So, Six Thinking Hats. I've not read the book. But today we are talking to somebody who has been absolutely beautifully managing six different hats of responsibilities. We are here with Manish, and of course we'll have this question thrown to Manish very soon. So Manish, Mr. Manish Biyani, he is the director of Mobel Furniture, which I know is one of the leading brands dealing in furniture spread across the country. I know that it has got a very strong presence in West Bengal, in Nagaland, in Goa, in Assam, and also in some other parts of the country. Manish is the founder and CEO of Mind Age Solutions. Again, the name Mind Age itself is very inspiring because I think hardly there are people who know the age of their mind because there is no limit, right? The people don't even explore this. The name itself is very inspiring. Manish is the director of Uniworth Furniture Manufacturing Company Private Limited, which is actually into manufacturing of some of the, I think, most beautiful architectural suave furniture which one can think of. I have seen some of the pictures on the web, Manish. And Manish is also a very senior person in the Rotary Club Circle in Kolkata because Manish was the president of Rotary Club of Kolkata Mahanagar. I have been in Rotary, Manish, for 1 year. I know what it takes to be a president. It's a full-time work.
Yeah.
I think it's not only about doing something to contribute to the society and add some real value to the society around us. I have seen the kind of work which people used to do in the days of pandemic and otherwise also. It's also about engaging the team, right? You have to do a lot to engage with the team. You also have to see that team is full of energy because it's actually extra time and money which people are putting. It's not only extra time, it's also extra money which people are putting just to see that the world gets better. So that is the fourth hat, Manish. Apart from the three companies which you spoke about, the fifth hat. You are a very, I think, loving family member. I know for sure that I have because I have been seeing some of these posts of you having this beautiful family time. Giving this family time to your family members on the beautiful sand dunes of Rajasthan. I'm a little biased towards Rajasthan, so that's the reason I caught all those pictures. I saw those pictures, and also I've seen your pictures with family in Darjeeling and some of these places. And the sixth hat, Manish, which you are handling so well, and that is, I don't know how many people know that Manish actually at his core is an engineer. He's an electronics and communications engineer, and I'm pretty sure that he also must be in the field of architecture because I think Mobile Furniture, I know, to the best of my knowledge, is also known for some of the most beautiful and most suave architectural solutions. Manish, how do you manage all the six hats? And with this, let me welcome you once again. And nation wants to know the answer to this question. And let me put my hands together, Manish, for the amazing work which you're doing. And may you keep on shining and may you keep on spreading more shine across the world. With this, Manish, welcome. And the answer to this question is something which the nation wants to know. Go on.
Well. Thanks, Arun. Thanks, for the introduction, and thanks for having me here. In fact, it's been a while that we've been trying to connect with each other, but for some reason or the other, weren't able to do this. And very aptly named Heart to Heart. That's how conversation should be, I believe. So, and very inspiring. You're doing such a great job. You've written books also, and I already a deep admirer of what you do, what you have,
Thank you so much.
how you
You're
have
kind,
changed
Manish.
lives. You are changing lives of people, by your conversations, by your inspirations. So that's wonderful.
Thank you so much.
So coming back to your question, wearing the six hats, I require a hat. Looking at my hairline, you must know.
No, no.
No, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun, because I always wanted to be an entrepreneur at core because I come from a family of entrepreneurs, so it's in our
Hmm.
genetically I'm, tuned to that, I would say, or trained to that. So, definitely being an engineer, I love production. I love, for the love of machines. And then, my technical knowledge of being
Yeah.
an engineer, electronics and communication, that's where mind edge comes from. So, I'm into software development, digital marketing, all
Wow.
these activities.
Wow.
So it's fun, and definitely family comes first. So family is something that is very dear to me, and that's what brought me back to Kolkata, after my college, and then I was working, and so that's what brought me back to Calcutta, and that's something,
Hmm.
very, very close to my heart. And
Yeah.
Rotary is something I joined about 15 years back, but
Oh,
definitely
oh, oh.
the leadership role that came through as a president was a game changer for me also. And it requires, definitely it requires time, but it what do you call it, enriches you as a person also, very, very, very.
Yeah, Manish, thank you so much for sharing this. And I can see that if I can just share a couple of little pics with the audience, I think we're talking about Rotary, which is very interesting because I think this also proves the point that for a person to come to a stage where things happen which are life changing, one has to spend long time. 15 years is a long time. And I think
Yeah.
for you to be with Rotary for 15 years is something I was with Rotary for 1 year, and I know it takes a lot. It takes a lot. It's a pretty engaging work, and I think it's a great thing because it adds a lot of satisfaction to it. Gives a lot of satisfaction. I was just looking at one thing. I saw that while going through some of the posts on the Rotary Club on the Rotary Club of Kolkata Mahanagar. I saw that you have been leading people not only to some of these very engaging programs, because this is one picture of one of the engagement programs which you had, I think, organized for your team members, which is very interesting. I think it was on the occasion of Diwali, Manish.
Yeah, yeah,
When
yeah.
yeah, it was not only this, but apart from that, I also saw another picture which I'm looking for, and which is all about you having invited people like Shiv Khera, right, to inspire people, which is
Yeah,
amazing. So I think
yeah.
Rotary certainly is adding lots and lots of value to the lives of people. And Manish, I think let's go back to the days. Yeah, I couldn't get that picture, but that's perfect. So that picture of you having invited Shiv Khera, I think I'm pretty sure this is just one of the many examples, many very inspiring programs which Rotary Club keeps on doing. So amazing work. Manish, let's go back to your go back to the days before BIT Meshra. Of course, we'll talk a bit about BIT Meshra. I've got something which I'm going to share with the audience. When you look back on your life and journey as a student while you were growing up, maybe in Kolkata, would you like to talk a bit about, while reflecting back on those days, would you like to talk a bit about some of the teachers or some of these experiences which you now think, kind of, shaped you into the person that you have become while managing 6+ and different hats, responsibilities? Yeah.
Yeah, so early childhood was in Calcutta. I'm a Calcutta boy altogether. So my school was Hindi High School. Now it's called Birla High School. So I've been a
Okay.
Birla boy all the time.
Yeah.
And so it was an all boys school. So still I cherish the times that I had at school. Everybody cherishes those moments, and the
Yeah.
friends that you make them are forever. So I still have friends who are right from nursery we are together. Still we go out and spend time together. Yeah,
Mm.
some of the inspiring teachers I had in my life, they really made me come up as the person I am. So one was, I had a very dear teacher, Mrs. Mukherjee. She was third standard. She was such a warm person. In fact, I met her about a couple of years back, and
Yeah.
that was something like almost 35 years post
Yeah.
I. So, and she called me and she wanted to buy a car, and she said, Manish, you need to help me. So I went with her, and she's quite old now. So she and her husband, they live alone. So it was quite nice, for a teacher to be there for a
Mm.
student, and giving that kind of love and affection. And then definitely, as things as we grew in class 11, 12, I was fortunate. I took up science, and I had a lot of great teachers who inspired me to take up the engineering, and it just shaped my life the way it is.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is awesome, Manish. And I think I always share with people that when it comes to learning and doing something which will make our life and career better, we always do not have to go back to books or some teachers. Actually, you can learn a lot from teachers as well as from friends. For example, the very fact that you are still connected with some of the childhood or school days friends is something which is very important point, because this is what is the essence of deep heart to heart, conversation and
Yeah,
connection.
yeah.
That's the best example of this, heart-to-heart conversation and connection. So I think I'm sure that we are talking to somebody who already knows a much bigger and better and deeper meaning of heart-to-heart connections and conversations and maintaining the relations, which is so important. Great. Manish, I think coming to BIT Mishra days, I remember you as the person who was, of course, I think I had this conversation with Rajat Sinha. Rajat, yeah. And I think
Yeah.
I distinctly remember that I had spoken about Rajat belonging to one of the three groups. Of course, I'm once again not going to talk about all the three groups. I would like the audience to go back to the YouTube channel and check that conversation with Rajat Sinha, because he has spoken a lot about some very insightful lessons which he had got while working with some very senior leaders of Apple and some of these companies in Mountain Bay area in San Francisco. So of course you can go and check the video separately. But yeah, I can say with conviction, with full confidence that Manish also belonged to the same group of people that Rajat Sinha used to belong. And Manish was actually one person who was, despite, and when I'm talking about the group, and I'm talking about people who are very intelligent, and most of these people are across the world and they're doing so well. So it's that group of people who are very confident. And I think, there are people, very small group of people who, kind of get a feeling that they have got some meaning of life. There are other people, majority of people, including me, who used to wonder as how to figure out the world and this and that. Manish, despite coming from this very confident group of people, I used to see that you were very, very approachable. And you were one of those people who was good with everybody. I recall having shared some nice moments with Manish. We used to have some kind of good morning and good evening. And of course, he used to talk to everybody. And I think Manish is a person who, while being in BIT Mishra for almost 4 years, I have never seen him as a person who had even a bit of slightest of kind of, controversies. He was a person who was good in studies, who was focused on the studies, who used to be good with everybody, who also used to manage his relations with some people. He used to be, I think, was everywhere and still without a spot. Maybe this could be a message to youngsters: how to lead a life where we are focusing on the right things at different stages of life and career. While studying, for example, I think I had some idea that you are coming from a very good business background. Still, I could never get a feeling that you are taking your studies with less seriousness or less sincerity. I think I always used to know you as a person who was fully into studies while being there for 4 years. Would you like to share something on this?
Yeah, so BIT Mesra was a great learner, and some of the best times of our lives. Probably we all of us at BIT had spent together.
Yeah.
So as a person, I am a very very cool-headed person. That's what what people
Wow.
say. Definitely, I
Wow.
don't get agitated very fast. So that's one quality that I could say that I've been with. And
Mm.
definitely, talking about BIT, the way to handle things was because we were all amongst equals. We everybody had their good times, bad times. Studies definitely had to be the focus, because coming from my parents, they always said that education is something that is very very important.
Uh,
So one who stops learning stops breathing, actually. So that's the message I came across. No, I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but in times when I met all the people coming at BIT, BIT was an institution where all the filtered people came. They had good attitude. So there was a lot of learning from others also. So I see my friends like they've grown so much, in their own careers, in their paths. And I saw that some of the people who came there, they were so focused that, I couldn't imagine the vision they had for the next 20 years.
And this
So
is beautiful, and I think we are talking about people who were at the age bracket of what, 10, 20 to maybe 25 years kind of. That was the age bracket,
yeah,
age
absolutely.
bracket. Then having a vision which expands beyond 20 is something which is inspiring, super inspiring. You are right, absolutely.
So all the students were so focused in studies, the peer pressure was there, and yet we had fun time. So focusing on education has always been my forte. I still I am an avid learner till date. So and I keep on learning, because you have to stay updated with the things. So definitely, but after studies, my regret is that I couldn't do my post grad, because I got into business. And so, but it's life is
So
like that.
actually, Manish could have managed a couple of other hats as well. And that's what Manish is saying. Okay, I get a couple of very important, insightful points here. The first point here, which I can get is that, which I'm pretty sure audience also must have noted, is despite coming from a business background, despite having this idea that you've got something that you are going to kind of that to back up on, is something that you are going to get into. Despite that, I think it's not only that you have studied very well. You have actually been you have been a study, you have been learning even now. I think it's very evident while listening to you. But whatever you have studied, whatever you've learned, you are also putting that to practice. For example, you had this option of being attached to furniture business and creations and architectural designs. But the fact is that since you have studied electronics and communications, you have been leading this company called Mind Solutions, right? Which is very interesting correlation, which I can see. So I think that's a message for all of us audience, including for me. So I always keep on saying that, it's not only about learning, it's also about practicing, because once you put the things into practice, actually you get more awareness, more awakening. So that is great. And Manish, would you like to say something about the kind of business which you're leading now? Would you like to say something about mobile and
Yeah,
mindage?
sure.
Something,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, sure. So, talking about business, I was working. I worked with ITC. Then I was working
Wow.
as a software consultant, and then I was working in the States. So, but the entrepreneurial bug, caught in, and then I came back to India in the year 2000, and
Yeah.
that's where my journey started. So that is when I started Minded Solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Because the core vision of the company was to provide software solutions to
Mm-hmm.
small and business medium enterprises. And
Yeah.
till date, we are doing that. So under Mind Edge, we are doing a lot of software development work in terms of web applications, custom
Mm.
web designs for clients both India and abroad. And last 10 years we've been engaged in a lot of digital marketing. So uh,
Mm.
do the 360-degree digital marketing for a lot of brands, and definitely it helps the other business that I am in. So mobile furniture was something that we started in the year 2005. So it was started by me and my brother. So we had absolutely no idea what furniture is all about, but so an opportunity came, and then we
Yeah.
started with a very small store of maybe about 2000 square feet. So that time, furniture was a very unorganized industry,
Okay. Okay.
and it was more to do with the carpenter. So it was a tedious job to get the carpenter to do
Mm.
work, and how that's how it was. So we thought that
Yeah.
we should probably disrupt that and change that. So we started with a small store, and then we moved ahead, and we started with a big store. So our flagship store is at mall in Calcutta. That's the first interior mall of Eastern India. So, the brand Mobile Furniture was launched in the year 2005. And so going ahead, then we opened more stores. So we had and then we went into manufacturing of furniture. So as we went ahead, we developed a franchise model.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
so we spread our wings, and now we are present in the entire East India. So we have stores in Bhubaneshwar, we have store in Siliguri, in Calcutta, in Guwahati, in Imphal. So we have pretty much covered a lot of places in West Bengal. So the key to that is that we have been growing since, and we have been learning, and we have done a lot of backward integration in terms of manufacturing. So we manufacture almost 70% of the products that we sell. So we
Okay.
have the
Okay.
entire product portfolio of home furniture, office furniture, and we have another wing called Mobile Interiors, where we do provide complete turnkey interior solutions to all the customers. Like, so you hand over the key to us, and we'll do the complete turnkey interiors, including the design,
Hmm.
everything.
Manish, this is very, very inspiring because I see a common pattern while going through your profile. And thanks for sharing with the audience that, of course, I can see that I missed telling that. In 1997, after coming out of Birla Institute of Technology, Manish joined a company called ITC Limited. And for 1 year, and then, of course, he got into consulting, and then he founded some of these companies which you're talking about, both in furniture as well as in the field of digital presence, which are two different areas, and still you got into both of these. A very interesting thing which I can see is that once you start something, you have been consistent into that thing. That's what I see a common pattern, because Mind Solutions was started not today or not 5 years ago. It was started in 2000. It has been 23 years since you have been
Yeah,
leading this organization. Mobile furniture, as you said, I can see here that actually it got started probably around the same time, January 2001 or somewhere. I think around that time. I think you also
yeah,
shared.
yeah.
And then I can see that I think it's something which I think people know and something which I have been talking about. और मैं तो आपसे बात कर रहा थी, छोटे मुंह बड़ी बात है, बिकॉज आई थिंक यू ऑलरेडी, आई थिंक यू नो इट्स लाइक शोइंग, वो दिया दिखाते हैं सूरज को. आई थिंक यू आर द बेस्ट पर्सन टू स्पीक अबाउट इट, एंड आई थिंक पीपल हैव स्टार्टेड, मस्ट हैव स्टार्टेड गेटिंग दिस सेंस that consistency and persistence. I think these are two very important aspects, because it would have been easy for you to face some initial challenges in the field of furniture, and then to think of some other vertical, to think of getting into some other area, but then you stayed in this field, and that's how I think it's a big, massive story of success. I think Manish didn't speak about it, but I think I know that it's a big story of success, starting from one small store which was around 2,000 square feet, and now it is all across in the eastern part of India. I think it's a great thing, Manish, and I'm pretty sure that this is one video which I think should be seen by all the entrepreneurs. And I guess, Manish, some budding businessmen, some budding startup founders or entrepreneurs, I don't know whether they are able to get some time from you there. In case somebody wants to reach out to you, Manish, do you get some time to, can you guide some of these people maybe through some of these kind of sessions or through Rotary Club initiatives? So I'm just throwing this idea, and whenever, if somebody comes to me, audience, if you want to learn some of these basic tenets of success, you can let me know, and I'll be happy sharing with Manish, and then he can find a way to reach out to some of these people. Would you like to share something? It's very interesting, very, very inspiring work which you have done, which you're doing.
Yeah, thanks, Aruna. And sure, sure, it will be a pleasure to connect with anybody, because we inspire each other, all the time. I also keep listening to a lot of people who are, like mentors to me, and
Uh,
I've
uh,
always believed that my the family that I come, I learned. Still, I'm learning with my father is there, so he's still, he's at the age of he's closing into his 80s, but he's one person who gets up at goes to office at 10 and returns at 8 o'clock all 6 days a
oh,
week. So he's still an
wow.
entrepreneur, and he keeps on pushing that every business has ups and downs, but through thick and thin, I think so that's a big learning, that you have to keep your consistency flowing. You have to constantly look up to the next day, what it you have to plan for the
Yeah. It's
that's
very
that
clear, Manish, is very clear that at the age of 80, he's nearing 80, still he's working for more than 60 hours, more than 60 hours a week. I think it's something which again reminds us of some of these things which I've been talking to some people, that it's all about, in a world which is all about, people talk about screens and AI and a lot of digital, kind of innovations which are happening. And still, I think it's a world where some of the basic qualities like discipline, being calm headed, being cool headed, having focus, being persistent, being consistent, and the mindset of being a learner, so that you keep on learning and keep on upgrading is are some of these. I think the entire story of success can be summarized to some of these words which you spoke about. And I think at the end of the day, it's all about sticking to some of these basic core practices,
core
because that's
practices.
where I think people start giving up. People have seen people who start something new, and then they start falling down after 1 or 2 years, and then they start looking for some other way, and then again they start looking for some other way. I think it's a world where it's all about people getting distracted. And in such a world, I think if there is one thing which is going to give you the success, the kind of success which Manish has been inspiring us with, it's focus, 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 and going on the path for, I think, more than 2 decades. And that is also getting reflected while hearing about your journey while being in Rotary Club, because that's another example. After working for more than 50, after being a part of Rotary for more than 15 years, you became the president. And as you yourself said, that it's a life-changing experience for you, for all of us, for all of us. Thank you so much, Manish. It's amazing. Manish, I think you spoke about mentoring and support. So, of course, I'm so happy that you can also mentor some of the entrepreneurs who want to get in touch with you. And probably there is a seventh hat which I'm thinking of, and that is the hat of kind of creating some kind of incubation center for some of these startups and founders and some of these people who want to make it big and they are new to this field. So that's great. Would you like to, Manish, talk about some of your friends or some of your mentors who inspired you a lot? Maybe one or two names where you feel that this, you saw these people doing something, and then you wondered at how exactly these people are doing, and then you got in touch, and then you saw that, yeah, there is something which you can also practice. Would you like to talk about some of these people or mentors? And in parallel, let me share with the audience one picture which I saw. You while you are sharing some moment with one of the ex classmates from BIT Mission. Let me share that picture. So I'm pretty sure that we are talking to somebody who knows, who has got this art, and who knows how to be in touch with old buddies, old mentors, old teachers. And of course, you give some examples. Would you like to talk about something about mentoring and some of the mentors who shaped your life and career?
Well, definitely, my father has been my mentor. I've always been inspired by him. My father and my brother, they have been because I've been working very closely with them, and day in day out, we discuss a lot of things. And
Yeah.
some of the mentors, I would say, would be some of the books that I've read. Steve Jobs is one person. Everybody gets so awe-inspired by that personality. He has achieved so much. So reading his
Yeah.
books.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely, these are people. So I read a lot about different entrepreneurs. That's what.
Wow.
And
Wow.
now it's more listening to the podcast, listening to the YouTubes, and about
Mm-hmm.
how. So that really inspires, because if you
Mm.
different stories, and then even if 5% of that you can grasp, and you can take it away to yourself, that is probably that helps.
Mm-hmm. So that's a great thing, Manish. Thanks for sharing. Maybe what we can do is to have some links from you offline after the session is over, and then I'll put those links of some of the podcasts or some of the books which you would like to recommend to budding entrepreneurs, because I know that reading and learning and watching and hearing are something which may not exactly change the life of a person. I think it's all about doing, because we did speak about some of these basic virtues of being consistent and persistent and having that focus and working hard, which we also spoke about. Having said that, if you listen to good things, if you surround yourself with some of these good books, I think it's like changing our sangat, our company. हमारी
Circle,
संगत
yeah.
बदल जाती है, जब संगत बदल जाती
Obviously.
है so you are always surrounded by those thoughts, and that's where mind is. You start actually expanding our mind, and that you start trying to
Mm.
kind of figure out a world which is going to be much bigger. Amazing, amazing, Manish. So I think, Manish, you spoke about one book written. I think it might be the biography of Steve Jobs, which was written by, I think, Mr. Isaacson. Would you like to talk about one or
Success.
two other? Would you like to talk about a couple of other books also, which I think many entrepreneurs who are going to see this video, because I'm going to put some effort so that it reaches out to as many people as possible. Would you like to
One
talk about
one
some other
one book,
things
one,
which?
one of my favorites is The Secrets by Rhonda Brand. So that's
Hmm.
that really,
Hmm.
it's about manifestation. If you are surrounded by good things, finally the universe will get back to you. Whatever you demand.
Amazing, amazing,
And then
amazing.
I was recently reading this Atomic Habits by James Clear. So that's also a very nice book. How
That's a very interesting book of how to build changes in a very
yeah,
small,
small
gradual
small
steps.
minuscule changes that can probably be life changing. And then definitely Rotary also helped me build my network, because in
Yeah.
fact, I belong to a club called Rotary Calcutta Mahanagar, so we have a very inspiring leader there. So he was the fourth Rotarian who was elected as the Rotary International President in 21-22. So he
Hmm.
was leading the Rotary International. So
Oh.
being in that club is also a privilege, and leading that club, we have close to 114 members now. So, that's also because, you're surrounded by such great people, coming from different vocations,
Yeah.
and uh, doing an honorary service, service to the society,
Hmm.
building
Hmm.
friends.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
the whole concept of giving, the gratitude comes from there, So that's also
I'll,
one of the important things. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. Recently, I had a similar heart-to-heart conversation with a very inspiring person, Mrs. Lata Datta. She is in Singapore, and she is a pranic healing healer. It's all about energy. So, you spoke about manifestation, you spoke about the secret. We'll certainly talk about it a bit. Because when I talk about the secret, some people may still get a feeling whether it's true or not. When Manish is going to talk about it, you have got to believe that it actually works. Because mostly people feel that all the coaches and speakers keep on talking about the secret. But I always tell people that I've seen somewhere in one of the blogs, in one of the posts written by the current CHR of Tata Steel, Atri
Mhm.
Sanal, she had spoken about this book. So on one end, we're talking about some CHRs who are talking about the book. We are on the other hand, we're talking about some very highly successful, entrepreneurs and people who are actually adding value to the society. That's all about living a very fulfilling life, wholesome life. Manish also is talking about this books. I think we will certainly talk about it. I think one thing which I have always seen is that, and that's what I realized while talking to Mrs. Lata Datta. She says she also spoke about manifestation. She spoke about the power of thinking positive. She spoke about the power of thinking about that, visualizing about the goal, the life which you want to lead, and then slowly and gradually things have started expanding. When I had a coach in my life, I still recall, he once made us visualize the experience of we speaking in front of 1 lakh people in a stadium, And then we actually did that for a few times. No surprises that next month on in the month of September, I'm going to talk to 1,000 CHROs in a kind of in one of the largest halls which is there in Pune, in one of the very well-known hotels. So things are start happening. Back to the book which you spoke about, the Atomic Habits. It's not going to happen in one day. Life is all about being consistent, being persistent for maybe a few decades. But then gradually it starts happening. You will speak with, for example, if I take my example, you speak with maybe 10 people, then 20 people, then 40 people, then 100 people, then 500 people, then 600 people, then 1,000, then 10,000. That's how it happened. It's a journey. And I think there is one person who is in the best position to talk about the fact that it's a long, persistent, consistent journey. It's Manish. And Manish, I'm so happy that you have joined us today, because I'm pretty sure that it's going to have some very, very discreet and very clear messages, which are going across the people who are going to watch this video. Manish, coming to the book which you spoke about, manifestation, I have been doing a program in the morning hours between 5:30 to 6:30, and all that we practice in this program is to visualize and start our day with while being in silence, while doing some kind of meditation, while just reflecting back on last 24 hours, learning some of the lessons and kind of stuff. I think I'll be so happy to invite you as the guest in one of these morning sessions, which are not attended by mostly corporate people and some business people, where I think we are talking to somebody who already has got this one quality, which actually is something which we talk most often, and that is the quality of having emotional intelligence, being calm, being cool-headed is something which is a big requirement in corporates, because I've seen many people ruining their career because of the fact that they couldn't keep their calm and they just blurted out something in open meeting against somebody, and then things fell apart.
Accident or yeah.
So it's very interesting. Would you like to talk a bit about, because you also spoke about your father. He, I think, is a person who is very disciplined. Of course, हम लोग उनके बारे में हम लोग क्या वो तो मतलब he must have taught you and other people the lessons of discipline. Would you like to talk a bit about what are those couple of things, including maybe being early in the morning or meditation or whatever, or reading some of these books, which people can do who actually get a feeling that emotional intelligence is something which is an area that they need to build further upon. Would you like to say something about, give some kind of your thoughts on how to be a cool-headed person and how to be a person who actually thinks on his feet and emotionally intelligent? Is emotional
Yeah,
intelligent?
so being cool is something that, probably again it comes inherently from my dad.
Yeah,
So what I think is that, if you start thinking positive, and
yeah.
if you have the feeling of gratitude that, whatever you have is great, that's what God has given you is absolutely great. And that is one thought that always keeps you, very cool headed and level headed, I think so. So, success is definitely going to come, if you are cool and if you maintain your levels in, different situations. So,
Hmm.
that is very, very important, and one of the key factors, which keeps me going all the day. And what I feel that the way you think is probably the way others will also think about you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely, because I recall I was just talking to somebody who was saying that he's not very happy with his boss and his peers and his colleagues. It looks like they are conspiring against him. I told him that if you for a day just make a change while going to the office, go with a little smile and just think that they are there to help you, support you. They are your best buddy. Just have this thinking. The way you're
Yeah.
going to respond to them is going to change. And once it changes, the way they're going to respond to you will start changing. Gradually, it's a journey. It's not going to happen one day, but it's certainly going to happen. And I think this is at the core of some of these things which these books also are talking about. Manish, I think you might have heard of this person called Hal Elrod, who has written this book called Savers, this book, Miracle Morning. So he speaks about savers. This is something which even Rajat Sinha spoke about. So savers is silence, affirmations, visualization. So S for silence, A for affirmation. Affirmation and saying something which is positive and having this
Yeah.
positive mindset. That's all I think affirmations are talking about. So silence, affirmations, visualizations, exercise, reading and scribing, reading and writing. So this
Writing
book. Yeah.
notes, yeah.
So I actually then I actually added G to it. So save I call it savers dash G. Do everything and then you have gratitude. That's very important, because it's important
Mm.
for us to appreciate all that we have got. And people have got a lot of things. It's just that once they start writing, they can think of 100 things. And if they do not think about, if they do not have this feeling of gratitude, then many people will get a feeling कि ये दुनिया है महफिल किसी काम के नहीं, दुनिया वाले ऐसा क्यों किया, why we boss क्यों ऐसा किया. So I think it's very interesting thing which you spoke about. Gratitude is very important. Gratitude.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that someday I'm going to invite you, and if you can join us for some time and share some of these lessons, I think because people who practice these have got a different aura. And of course, we can see that shine on your face, Manish. So great.
So
Yeah.
I
Would you
think
like
so.
to say
It's not about practicing. It comes by itself. Once you start, if you start thinking that gratitude something is going to help, and if you even make a person smile someday, probably that is what you have.
That's the best one. No, very nice, and I think that's great because I spoke about practicing because in some cases when people do not have this habit, they have to actually. So we have to make them. We have to give them some kind of, it's like a pill, a small this thing, so that they practice for 10 days, and then it starts becoming a part of their subconscious, and then it becomes a
Yeah,
second
yeah.
nature for them. So I think it's very interesting what you say. Coming back to the name which I took, Mrs. Lata Datta, she said one thing very clearly. She said that, Arunji, what I've seen is that if we send healing energy, now we are talking pranic healing, and it's a very connected, very deeply connected world, very simply connected world rather. She said that in pranic healing, if we send healing energy to the world, it comes back to us multiple times, getting over multiple times. So if I do something good to people, if I send some positive thoughts, if I think good about others, actually it comes back to us multiple times over. And that's true with the journey of being a Rotarian as well, because it's all about, I know, it's all about putting your time, putting your money for the sake of making this world better. And I think I'm saying this in a very humble manner. I think, Manish, you are the best person for this. Once you keep on adding this positive energy to people through the work, which I'm pretty sure you must have laid for many years, it just starts coming back, and actually the first thing which we get a feeling is all about happiness. So if you feel that sense of contentment and happiness, and once this happens, I think our work also gets better, and then productivity and everything else starts getting better. I think it's all a connected world. But I think to put it simply, let's see that more and more people start doing something which will make this world shinier. Manish, would you like to say a bit about some people who want to join Rotary, how exactly they can, if they want to join, and what kind of things happen in Rotary? Because I know that it's not only about work, it's also about engagement and connecting and sharing some happiness and energy together. Would you like to say something about your role as the president of Rotary Club in Kolkata Mahanagar?
Wonderful. So Rotary, it's spread across 200 countries. More than more in more countries than probably UNICEF is present.
Wow.
So Rotary works on two pillars. One is fellowship, कि जब
Mm-hmm.
दोस्त होंगे तो सब काम अपना आसान हो जाता है. So
Mm-hmm.
first part is fellowship, and the second part is service.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone can join. So all you have to do is you have to use your vocation to help others. So it's not always
Mm.
about money. People pay, and people donate. They donate a lot of funds to the foundation, but
Yeah.
it's not always about money. It's about the hours that you give to bring change to
Most
life.
important, yeah. So
Yeah. So
involvement, yeah. Mm.
yeah. So anyone can join. So there are clubs all across India. Also, India is very big in Rotary. So, like in our region, we have around 160 clubs. So our club is a
Wow.
small part of it. So it's an organization which has got 35,000 clubs across the world. And
Wow.
anywhere in the world you go, you find a Rotarian, you will be greeted like a friend. So that's also
Wow.
across the world. So uh,
Wow.
Rotary
Wow.
is one great thing that can happen to anybody, and it will definitely change your own life also. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you try to help others, probably, as Arun, you said that it something positive things comes back to you. So that's also an essence
Mm-hmm.
of Rotary. So I
Mm-hmm.
urge everyone to join Rotary, and bring good to the society, bring good to the world, and make good friends. So
No,
in
this is
fact,
very
last night,
interesting.
I was partying hard with my friends only Saturday night with my Rotary friends. So
Yeah.
also another part of it.
Yeah. No, this is so
Definitely,
good
you can also
because,
build business also, because a lot of friends, you come, you get connected, people trust you, and you get a lot of
yeah,
business also.
yeah.
That's also another aspect of it, but that's not the prime motive. But it
Yeah,
can,
this anyway is bound to happen because I think we also
yeah,
spoke about the, once you start sending good energy, it all starts coming back to you in a blaze, in a different ways, which you can't even understand. So great thing, and I think as you said, even in Pune, I have seen in Pune also there are multiple clubs. There are many clubs actually. So I think it's
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
easy for people
absolutely.
to join. एंड मैंने हमेशा दोस्तों कहा है कि संगत का बहुत ज्यादा असर होता है और रोटरी क्लब का सबसे बड़ा उसकी जो खासियत है कि आपको एक संगत मिलती है, एक ऐसी संगत मिलती है जहां और इट्स ऑल अबाउट heart to heart conversation. It's all about face to face meetings. I think I've seen most of the meetings happen face to face
Yeah, yeah,
in a
face to
world which is getting more and more digital. I think in a world
face.
which is getting more and more digital now, more and more kind of kind of, screen based, screen time based. I think now probably the significance of Rotary Club and some of the work which Rotary has been doing is going to be even more intense, right? Because now in a world which is getting a screen based, it's all about face to face interactions, which is great. Amazing, Manish. Now coming to some of the beautiful pictures which I have seen on Facebook, and let me share one picture which I saw. It's very interesting picture, and then we'll speak about your love for nature. So maybe this picture. I've got both the pictures with me. So you are having a. I think it's pretty evident that we are talking to somebody who's very health conscious. And then I think it's in Darjeeling. Would you like to say a bit about this experience which you had in Darjeeling? Because nature is one of the most important company which one must have. And I think I saw that with you. So would you like to say something about how do you feel when you go in the company of nature and enjoy some very
So
important.
I'm an avid lover of nature. So I really, when I travel, but the first thing that I want to go to is, the forest and the, the tea gardens and also this is an amazing picture that I took. So I have a love for photography also.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's
Uh,
very clear.
yeah, so
Yeah.
this is sipping Darjeeling tea in one of the tea gardens, tea estates. So that caught my eyes. So that's what the picture speaks about. So
Yeah.
I remember this was 100-year-old tea estate where we stayed
Okay.
for a couple
Oh,
of
wow.
nights. It was with the complete family, so we had a very kind of a getaway from work, and we were nestled in the tea gardens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing, breathtaking views. And one of the another things I remember is going to these tiger reserves. That is
Okay.
one thing I really like.
Actually, when I wrote my first book, Manish, it was called Tiger Reserve. This my Peter Marisborough moment. It actually starts with my some I won't say awakening, some kind of realizations which I had in Ranthambore. So I don't know whether people can see
Oh,
Ranthambore.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ranthambore.
The
So
tiger
that's
of
where I got the first realization. The tiger of Ranthambore is something which with which the book begins. So I
Hmm.
think most of our audience must be aware of this fact. The fact is that nature is could be the biggest and the best teacher, and it's very important that we have a balance among all that we are doing. And of course, we spoke about 6 or 7 hats which Manish has been managing so well. Manish, also I saw that you also love going to deserts, which is something which brings a common factor between both of us. Would you like to talk a bit about this thing? Because the idea is just to inspire people to spend some time with family and be in the company of nature. That's the intention with which I am sharing some time moments. So would you like to share something about this? Because I love being in Rajasthan. So would you like to say something about what was the realization and feeling when you spent some time in the
Yeah,
hills?
so this is the picture that you put up is one of our trips to Jaisalmer.
Ah,
So I belong to Rajasthan.
yeah.
Though my forefathers came to Calcutta, but my love for the colors, the vibrancy of Rajasthan still stands very tall. And desert was definitely, you feel like you are such a small being in this planet. When you look at the expanse of the desert, that is what is makes it so beautiful. And the very fact that it is so big, so huge, and with nothing in front, that makes it
Yeah,
more and more beautiful. So we spend very great time here, the camel rides with all our kids coming along. So it was a nice experience, very, very good.
yeah. And I can see that nature is I think equally beautiful in different shades and different colors. For example, we spoke about your visit to the tea gardens, which are all about green, lush green, and then you
Yeah,
come
yeah.
to desert, and both are equally inspiring, which is I think a magic which people have to experience. By the way, I know that it's going to be a repetition for many people who might have seen my videos. I always keep on talking about my visits to Nawalgarh, Ringas, Salasar Balaji, and Lachmangad and Jaipur, because my wife comes from Jaipur, so we
Oh.
keep on traveling to Jaipur many times. Even this year, I may again go to Jaipur, and all that I have planned is to take a vehicle and go to Nawalgarh and all these places and take around and come back. So I think amazing to see, and I think Ringas is the village place from where many Marwadi people come. Many people who have built some of the largest of empires in the country across the world have also come from this area. Great. So Manish, it's a pleasure for me to be talking to you. I didn't even know how it has been close to one, not close to. We have already been talking over last 1 hour, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
once again thank you so much for your time. But I'm not going to spare you before you also share about some inspiring movies and some inspiring, of course, places we spoke about. We did speak about some inspiring books. Of course, you can, I think, audience has got a sense of it. And of course, you can share some links of podcasts which you think are interesting, heartwarming, for example,
Yeah,
so to say. And would you like to share something about the movies which you found very interesting, which you would like to recommend to the viewers of this series of conversations?
well, movies. So, nowadays it's all OTT.
I
It's
don't know
all
whether you
OTT.
get time for movies after managing all these 7 hats or 8 hats. I don't know, but yeah, still.
No, no, I think so. OTT is now, is the thing that the
Great.
kind of content now that has come is changing.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
like one of the OTTs, I remember very different content was Panchayat. If people have watched
Yeah, it's
it,
my it's
this
my it's my
is
hot favorite, by the way.
it's wonderful. It's really wonderful. The
Wonderful.
whole thought behind it, and I like thrillers. So, I'm a big fan of crime series and.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
One
No,
of
I think
favorite
it's
movies
yeah.
definitely is Sholay, and
Yeah, actually, these are done. These are made with a lot of love and
these are
passion,
iconic
intensity. Because
movies. Yeah.
unless that person has got passion, unless the team had passion, they couldn't have created something like Shula. I think I always tell people that don't make it too formal. See, leading a life with happiness and joy is something which is very important, and for that you always have to go to motivational videos and all that. Just look at life, and I think if you see anything which touches your heart, it means that somebody has actually used all the rules of success. It's as simple as that, isn't it? Which you spoke
Yeah.
about.
Mm.
Great. So this is one of the pictures of Manish, I think, addressing the gathering in one of the Rotary Club events, which we have spoken about. Audience, if you want to join, you can join one of these. And Manish, I also wanted to share a picture which I've just got. I've got a list of pictures. So I also saw that you have been in touch with people, so friends. So this is a picture. I think you met one of the classmates from Birla Institute of Technology in a world where people do not get personal, time to meet face to face, something which is awesome. Would you like to share something as how did you feel when you spoke with somebody, when you met somebody after 25 years or so?
Yeah. So it's always good. In fact, this is the picture of Gaurav. So
Yeah.
I met him when he was in Calcutta. So he's now a big architect in working in Delhi. Uh,
Oh,
so he studied with us in BIT. So
yeah.
recently, you must be recalling Gaurav Sinha and.
Yeah. Yeah.
So recently we met. So we had a good time. He flew down to Calcutta just to see me, and Nitesh was also here. So,
Yeah.
every now and then, whenever people are coming, traveling this part of the country, they also make sure to meet up with old friends. It's always good to catch up with, friends.
And I think this is a message. I think I don't want to make it formal. I think this is something which we all have to reflect on. If you ask me, the biggest and best of happy moments which you get are the ones when you spare some good time while having dinner or lunch with some of the people that you love, some of the people with whom you have got some very nice memories. It's important for us to surround ourselves with people who share, who give us positive energy. It's all about Sangha, jo humne baat kiya tha. Amazing, Manish. Great. And Manish, now coming to the signature question, which in last couple of conversations, I'm not asked, but I'm going to ask you this question. So, Manish, if we write a book on your life and journey so far, what do you think could be the title of this book?
Oh, that's a
So we
tricky
have
one.
started with a question which Nishan wanted to know. Now this is the last question, and then we'll say thank you for your time and efforts. Yeah.
Uh, Let me think. That's a tough one.
So as audience, it's all free flowing heart to heart conversation. There is no scripting here. I think we can make it very clear from the last 1 hour of interaction which we're having, because
Oh,
it's very important for us to be natural, to be in the moment. That's very important. Once we're in the moment, we enjoy the conversation rather than just reading a set of questions and answering. No, it's not
yeah, yeah.
mechanical. It's all about human beings. So, Manish, I'm pretty sure that we can have multiple books written on your life and journey. And one title which I can think of course, you are a very humble person, so you're not saying one title which I can think of course, 8 hats. It's not six, not even six, I think 8 plus hats. And second could be the power of persistence, because we are talking to somebody who has been into a few things, but he has gone deeper into each of these things, and that's very clear. I don't want to say anything more than this. Thank you so much, Manish, for your time and efforts. It's amazing to have you as a guest in this series of heart to heart conversations. And audience, may you also have more of heart to heart conversations. And we thank Manish for becoming a guest, for becoming a channel for us to once again be reminded of the fact that it's important for us to be have deep conversations, to know people well, and to spend some meaningful time in a world which is all about the screens and more of the screens. Thank you so much, Manish.
Thank you,
Would you
thank
like
you.
to
It
share something
was
before we close? Anything which you want to share, which we couldn't discuss? Anything which comes close to your heart, which you want to share?
No, I think so. We shared, we had a heart-to-heart conversation, and it was the topic. The name that you've given is so nice. Heart-to-heart, and definitely, as all people say that we are spending a lot of time on screens, but I just want to share that there's a lot of pros to it also. If you want to
Yeah,
use these
lot of
screens in a
pros.
much, so the kind of education, the kind of learning that you can derive out of these channels is it's humongous. You
Humongous,
want to learn,
amazing, absolutely. Manish,
which
thank
was
you so
not
much
possible
for.
earlier.
No, you are absolutely. Thank you so much for bringing this insight, because yesterday I watched a movie called The First Man. It's all about the story of Neil Armstrong and how he kind of managed this courage to think of going to the moon when it was not sure whether he can come back. This is the
Yeah.
essence of this story. It talks about the essence of courage and risk. Bigger
Mm.
is the risk, bigger is the name. And I think these are some of this again is one of those very core philosophies behind success and whatever
रिस्क
we I
वो
think we
बोलते
spoke
हैं ना,
about.
वो जो उस पे था ना, रिस्क है तो इश्क है।
इश्क है, बिल्कुल वही, रिस्क है तो इश्क है, और इश्क है तो रिस्क
रिस्क है
है, दोनों
बस।
दोनों कनेक्टेड है। पैशन है तो रिस्क तो आना ही आना है, because then you feel passionate to do something amazing. Manish, thank you so much. And of course audience, you spoke about screen time. Yeah, screen time could be very inspiring. One example is some of these movies which are there on OTT, and of course another example is this series of heart to heart conversations. Please watch on the screen and get inspired. Thank you so much, Manish. Have a great amazing Sunday. It's a
Thank you,
pleasure
thank
talking
you,
to you.
thank you. It was
Thank you.
so great. Thanks a
Thank you.
lot.